meets delegates in Kilifi County. Blow to former Kiambu County Governor Ferdinand Waititu. Court denies his bail pending his sentencing appeal at the Court of Appeal. All right, my name is Cynthia Nanjala, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. You can watch us live across all our streaming platforms on EBN TV tonight. Let's get this show started. Now, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mary Mudhoni, has confirmed officers from the Surveillance Department under the Ministry of Health have been deployed to Kisii County to probe the mysterious disease that has left over 200 people nursing similar symptoms in hospitals. The PS was speaking after an expose by the media saying health is a devolved function, but the national government makes an exception with critical cases that require a multi-sectoral approach.
I can say that the national government, as you very well know, health is a devolved function. But whenever there is something like that, we always send our officers from the national government, and especially the ones from the surveillance department, to ensure that we comprehensively do surveillance around there and know what is the cause of the disease. And we have already sent our officers on the ground. They are working very closely with the Kisii County government to establish from the samples that they are collecting to the extent at which we need to move, and also the kind of medication that probably that needs to be done, and also what else needs to be done moving forward. I think that we have already sent our teams on the ground to get the samples so that we can establish what kind of a disease it is. So I want to ask the country to remain calm. Things are under control, and we will keep you informed as we move forward.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has ordered former Deputy President RIGATHI GACHAGUA to desist from making statements that may stir ethnic hatred and incite violence in his political tackles with President William Ruto. Citing GACHAGUA's recent remarks on petitions seeking the removal of Chief Justice Martha Koome, the commission ruled the former deputy president was out of order, saying he was abusing freedom of speech. In the letter, NCIC noted that on February 23rd in Igembe, North Meru County, GACHAGUA made statements meant to stir up the emotions of a section of the members of the Meru community. The commission has faulted the former deputy president for warning Ruto not to visit Meru County if Koome is removed from office. Since his ouster from office, the former deputy president has been on record criticizing the Kenya Kwanza regime over what he says are its failures in matters good governance. At the pinnacle of his frequent diatribes is President William Ruto, whom he accuses of betraying him and orchestrating his impeachment just 2 years after he helped him enter State House. All right, in a brazen move, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has admitted systemic and implementation challenges with the Social Health Authority, saying it is not yet perfect. Mudavadi admitted this while at the memorial service of Malava Member of Parliament Malulu Injendi, saying government leaders have to be honest. He said the government is continuing with its push to streamline the government's health plan, assuring that they will get it right eventually.
Our people, katika mambo ya hospitali, SHA is still not yet perfect. The social health arrangement is not perfect. Haijakuwa sambamba kabisa. Bado kuna matatizo. Mimi kama mmoja ambaye yuko kwa serikali, sitaki kuficha niseme everything is all right. I would be lying. Na watu wa Malava walinifunza hapa kwa soko, hata kama ni mbaya tuambie tu, lakini usitudanganye. Kwa hivyo kuna shida, matatizo hapa na pale kwa health sector. Lakini kutatua sio kutoroka na kusimama kwa jukwaa na kutoa sarakasi. Hapana. Let us find solutions. Saa hizi kula Amerikani, yule Trump amechukua kazi. Sasa amefuta mambo ya usaidizi kwa sekta ya afya katika ulimwengu. Mambo ya aid tusahau. Sasa ni sisi wenyewe tujitegemee, sisi wenyewe kama Wakenya tuchunge wagonjwa wetu. Ikiwa wale wameziba mashimo, wamefunga tap, wamefunga mfereji, nyinyi mnataka tutoe wapi pesa? Si ni kwetu sisi wenyewe? Tujipange. Kwa hivyo juhudi letu lengine, unfinished business, ni kuhakikisha we continue to streamline the universal healthcare program paka inyooke ili kila mtu apate matibabu.
ODM party leader Raila Odinga has continued his public consultations in Kilifi County after touring Mombasa over the weekend. Odinga was received by Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mung'aro and the ODM chairman and Kilifi County Speaker Teddy Mwambire, as well as several members of the county assembly and party delegates. Odinga jetted back into the country after losing the African Union Commission chairperson seat and has demanded action from the government seeking compensation for demonstrators who lost their lives in the 2024 Gen Z's protests.
Wakasema shida iko hapa kiuchumi, wananchi wanaumia. Hali ya maisha, gharama ya maisha imepanda, ushuru iko juu, kupani matibabu, mambo ya SHA bado haijafanya kazi sawa sawa. Wako na shida. Kwa upande mwingine pande ya ugatuzi, shida iko ni kwamba pesa haiji ya kutosha hapa chini ya kufanya kazi sawa sawa. Vile vile wamesema ati mambo ya miundo msingi vile vile haendeshi sawa sawa. Mambo ya hii ujenzi ya masoko, hata hii affordable housing vile vile kuna changamoto. Kwa hivyo yale yote wanataka waone kama vile inavyofanyika. Lakini muhimu zaidi wamesema wanataka chama chetu cha ODM imarishwe. Na ODM iwe na nguvu.
Consultation yetu tumekubaliana kwamba ile mambo tulikuwa tunaendelea nayo ya NADCO reports na maneno mengine yote kama chama, wakati tulikuwa tukipigania kwa azimio, kwamba tumempa ruhusa baba aendelee nayo. Sisi kama Kilifi County na tunaunga mkono wale wengine ambao tayari ashashauriana nao kwamba aendelee, kwa sababu Kenya hii ni yetu sote pamoja, na hatuwezi kusema hata tukikaa kando ikiharibika bado tutalaumiwa tu. Afadhali turekebishe tukiwa hapo ndani. Tumempa uwezo baba aendelee, atuwakilishe, na tunajua atatuwakilisha vyema. Asanteni sana.
Nairobi County has interdicted 2 officers, Dr. John Toiti, the acting director for revenue in the county, and Sankale Lempaka, the director for debt collection unit, for the garbage dumping incident witnessed last week at Stima Plaza. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, however, said no other fault has been committed by the county against the power distributor, and that the county government will still seek payment of the 5 billion shillings owed for wayleave fees as it pays off 800 million shillings owed to Kenya Power for the outstanding debt.
The dumping incident at Kenya Power headquarters was completely uncouth. It was wrong. It was it was something not sanctioned, Chairman. It is something that a government does not do. You know, it was completely off. I will explain the context within which what found our people there, but the dumping of garbage was very primitive. And you know, I lead a big institution. I have almost 20,000 staff. But the ultimate responsibility, the buck stops with me as a governor. And so on behalf of the staff, I apologize to the people of Kenya, to the people of Nairobi, to the residents and tenants and business people there. That should never have happened, and it will never happen under my watch. I will not allow that to happen again. And so let it be on record, because this is a house of record, that that action of dumping is something I condemn myself. And that is why when it happened, immediately In less than an hour, actually less than 30 minutes, what was dumped was cleared. Immediately, we said you cannot have that. It is wrong. It is wrong. We have so far interdicted officers. The documents are here within your package. I've interdicted 2 officers from the revenue department. It was actually a revenue operation, and I'll explain what was going on. Investigations are ongoing. We have an investigation department within the county, and we're also working with the police to make sure. In fact, we agreed to have a liaison. Nairobi is so important that working with the national government, especially when it comes to security, is critical.
2 individuals, Moses Masiga, Chancellor of the Northwestern Christian University College, and his Vice-Chancellor Jackson Hayamba, who were arrested on Friday last week, holding a graduation ceremony and awarding degrees and doctorate at Orinyali, which are yet to be registered with the Commission for University Education, were arraigned on Monday at Shanzu Court in Mombasa. The 2 were charged with over 100 counts, all in line with failing to comply with the set rules set by the Commission for University Education. They were later granted a bond bail of 500,000 Kenyan shillings each and a surety of a similar amount or a cash bail of 400,000 shillings. The matter is set to be mentioned on 7th of April, where the prosecutor is expected to present proper charges before the court.
In the circumstances, I will give the prosecution time to avail proper charges before this court, charges that are manageable and are consistent with the law. In the meantime, each accused person is released on the following terms. Each accused to be released on a bond of 500,000 shillings with 1 similar surety or a cash bail of 400,000 shillings. The cash bail depositor or surety to appear with a letter from the area chief confirming that the accused persons are well known to them. Mentioned on 7th of April for the prosecution to avail proper charges before this court.
2 middle-aged men alleged to have murdered businessman Campbell Scott will remain in remand for another 21 days to allow police conclude investigations. Scott, a British national, disappeared in Nairobi before his decomposing body was discovered in a forest in Makueni late February. Alex Mutua Kithuka and Albanas Mutinda Nzioki were presented before Magistrate Lucas Onyina on Monday as they are being probed over Scott's death. The court was informed that preliminary investigations indicate Scott was taken to one of the suspects' house in Pipeline, Nairobi, where he is believed to have been murdered. The prosecution said that the 2 suspects allegedly attempted to access money using Scott's credit cards in Nairobi, Voi, and Mombasa. The matter will be mentioned on the March 21st, 2024, and investigators have been working with their counterparts in the United Kingdom, where Scott was based before traveling to Kenya on February 16th for a business meeting, but he disappeared the very next day.
And the supporting affidavit sworn by 1 Sergeant Philip Kilonzo on the same date and filed therewith. I have also considered the submissions made by the prosecution counsel and the response by the first respondent. From the contents of the supporting affidavit and the submissions made, the application meets the requirements of Section 36A of the Criminal Procedure Code. The first respondent and the second respondent to be held in police custody at Capitol Hill Police Station and Kilimani Police Station respectively for a period of 21 days as sought, and the matter be mentioned on 24th of March this year.
We remain in the corridors of court, where the High Court has dismissed an application by former Kiambu County Governor Ferdinand Waititu to be released on bond pending hearing and determination of his appeal. Justice Lucy Njuguna said that the applicant had not convinced the court that his appeal had high chances of success. She also did not agree with Waititu that he ought to be released on bond owing to his ill health. Waititu has been in jail since the Anti-Corruption Court Chief Magistrate Thomas Nzioki found him guilty of conflict of interest and dealing with suspect property offences after corruptly receiving millions from Kiambu County through a 588 million shillings road tender. Waititu was given options of either paying a fine of 53.7 million shillings or serve a 12 years imprisonment. Waititu's advocate Danstan Omari had earlier filed an application at the High Court seeking to be admitted to a reasonable bond pending the determination of Waititu's appeal, which was valued at 50 million shillings at the time.
This court can confirm that the diary of the court can accommodate the hearing of the appeals in under 2 months from now, meaning that the applicants will not have served a substantial part of the sentences, bearing in mind the respective sentences by each of the applicants. Having considered all the above, it is my finding that the applicants have not met the conditions for grant of bail pending appeal. The applications are hereby dismissed. The appeal shall be heard on priority basis, given that the applicants herein are in custody. Those are the orders of the court.
Nominated Member of Parliament Bishop Jackson Kosgei has said the government is working towards ensuring the Universal Health Plan (SHA) is working to benefit all Kenyans regardless of their backgrounds. He also criticized private hospitals, especially the faith-based centers, for denying Kenyans medical services, terming it immoral and unchristian, and wrong.
President Ruto amesema kwa karama yoyote ile ni lazima tupate universal healthcare katika Kenya. Mambo ya kusema and it is not connected whether it makes him popular or not, but the Kenyans need it. Sasa nashangaa kwamba private sector, especially faith-based, ndio wanasema tutafunga mahospitali kufungia wale wanategemea kadi hiyo kwa sababu ya deni ya samani. We cannot move ahead kama hii haitalipwa. Si Biblia inasema wengine watafungiwa nje. The leading philanthropic expectation is from the faith-based. They should be the last to deny people services because of debts that was there before. It is immoral, it is unchristian, it is not faith. It doesn't matter how much you don't have it, Christ paid it all. So umeona ameambia hata European Union kwamba mumetegemea Amerika kuwasimamia miaka hiyo yote, shauri yenu. Ameambia watu ya Asia, sasa nyinyi mnaitana kazongo, na hata wale mlikuwa mnatafuta wasaidia sema shauri yenu. Hata hiyo NGOs, civil societies, ambaye wamekuwa wakilipiwa na USAID ili waite viongozi wa Afrika kazongo, sasa wameachwa barabarani. Kama bunge tumeitisha Ministry of Health na ile authority inayohusika, tumeitisha wao walete statement kupitia kamati ya health, na wameleta tukifungua bunge, na mahali ambapo inahitajika kurekebisha, sisi kama wabunge tutarekebisha kisheria, lakini SHA works.
All right, at that point, allow us to take a quick breather right here on EBN Prime Edition. We'll be back shortly with more news making headlines. Stay with us. Reports he has denied. Natembeya refuted the allegations, saying no such thing happened.
Bila mambo yote, kukuwa na fujo, kukuwa na makelele yote. Lakini wakati tukiongea kulikuwa na wamama karibu 5 pale, walikuwa wamevaa reflector jackets. Walikuwa wanasema Ruto, 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 Ruto. So wala ambao tu kwenye ulingo wa siasa, mimi nilijua kwamba vile wanaimba jina la rais hapa local politics sijawekwa. So sema kwamba labda kuna kiongozi wa Malaba ama Kakamega amechochea wale wa mama watano kupiga kelele. Mimi nikaona sasa ile siasa mahali mimi nacheza mahali imenifikisha ni hapo. Wameniweka katika kile kiwango cha rais. Mimi vile mimi naona niko kwenye barabara ambayo iko nzuri. Wala ambao walikuwa wanajua nini kilifanyika pale. Mimi sidhani kama kuna sehemu yote upande wa magharibi ambayo anaweza kwenda mtu aseme kwamba anatembea amepigwa amefukuzwa na watu. Fanya uchunguzi wajue kwa kweli nini kilifanyika pale na wa take corrective measures, wapane report ambazo ziko halisi.
The government is upgrading and modernizing technical and vocational education and training institutions, TVETs, to enhance their capability and relevance in responding to manpower needs in the country. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has said TVETs must build skilled, adaptable and innovative workforce ready to meet the demands of the industries and job market. He said the government is in the process of undertaking progressive reforms in realizing the productivity of TVETs. Mudavadi also assured policies and programs are being rolled out to grow and develop the TVET sector, to produce skills that will support Kenya's priority sectors and enhance its global competitiveness. He was speaking when he presided over the first graduation ceremony for Kaiboi National Polytechnic in Nandi.
Made significant strides in reforming the sector to ensure that it is aligned with global trends, industry standards, and the needs of our growing workforce. In this regard, we are upgrading and modernizing TVET institutions to enhance their relevance and responsiveness to the manpower needs of our growing economy. These reforms focus on enhancing the quality of education and training, improving access to TVET programs, and ensuring that what is taught in these institutions directly addresses the needs of the labor market. As part of these reforms, the Cabinet has approved the dual training policy, and you heard the Principal Secretary make reference to this.
We want to appreciate the reforms, and I want to thank the PS. She has been able to raise a number of the things that we have always raised are already being addressed by the State Department, including shortening the time that our students take to acquire skills in our institutions. If we can be able to reduce them even by half, start by reducing it to 1 year, then move to reducing it to 6 months, that will shorten the time. It will lessen the burden of paying school fees for our parents.
We are talking about exporting labor. Labor exportation has its challenges and its privileges as well. As a training institution that we want to leverage on labor export, I want to ask you and the ministry to be able to sit down and incorporate languages to be learned in the TVETs. Make sure that there is a common course for German language, for example.
To sports, Shabana head coach Peter Okidi was over the moon after his charges showcased their prowess in a commanding 4-1 triumph over Kakamega Homeboys at the Gusii Stadium in Kisii. The outcome marked a significant turning point in the club's campaign, igniting the Glamour Boys' hopes of charging for their maiden top-flight title. The victory propelled Shabana FC to the 6th spot on the league table, positioning them within striking distance of a coveted top 5 finish. In other matches, Tusker played out a barren draw against Bandari at Mbaraki as Mathare United and Murang'a Seal settled for a 1-1 draw.
Na yeye kazi yake ni kukaa sana na mpira na kuweza kucontrol kasi na tempo ya mchezo. Huku Keith Mbali the magician. Kitu kimejaa ndani ya kamba ile. Msimu huu wanafunga magoli 3. Leo wamepokea na wamepatikana Kakamega Homeboys. Walikuwa na Joana, alisema kwa najua style of play yao Francis Baraza. Brian Michira Migiro! Anaingia ndani uzuri Henry Omolo. Henry Omolo nawapa goli.
All right, that marks the end of our broadcast tonight, but also a quick update. Harambee Stars have appointed Ben McCarthy as the new